Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 147 of Sold with Updike Pugh.
I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh. We've got a great show today. We've got some amazing homes. Wow, a little bright.
Yeah.
the white balance went really high. There we go. We've got some amazing homes. One in Oak Lawn, and the other one is going to be in
Lakewood.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
Really, really great homes today. And in our second segment, we're going to talk about, we just had a conversation about this.
We did just say, okay, what's the hook on that? The turn is?
In our second segment today, we've got our property manager with Mayur Chudasama, who is the Ebby Halliday property manager that's joining us.
And you don't want to miss out. A lot of great information as the temperatures soar. So do some of the rental rates. So lots of good information.
Yeah, it's going to be fun today, I can tell.
It is. You know what it is? It's that sugar from those donuts that he brought.
That's exactly
we are keyed up.
That's exactly right.
Maybe we'll do this more often.
Yeah.
So
how things been going? What you been doing?
I will tell you, there has been a new change in my life, and I have introduced melatonin to my sleep regimen. And it's the craziest thing I've ever had. It's 10 milligrams, and it's a chewy, and I take it about an hour before, and I am sleeping so solid. It was quite amazing, and so I feel like I'll be well rested and full of energy for today's show. So
Good.
Everybody be ready.
Good.
And what about you? Pooch as well?
The dogs are doing great.
Okay.
I spent almost last weekend, every day last weekend in somebody's pool, which was
Look at
absolutely
you.
great. Everybody's having those end of summer pool parties right now. So
Jeff, you wore your sunscreen because you don't even look sunburned.
I did. I was really good.
Look
I've got
at
this
you.
big hat that I wear, and
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, it's going to be a great show. Before we get into that, though, let's take a look at what's going on in the market, because as we like to show you, there's a lot of changes. We are at the end of the month, and really oddly, it is so end of the month that the numbers will be a little skewed even next month, because there'll be some cleanup happening from the sales that just went under contract.
Yeah, a lot of people bring their houses on the market toward the beginning of the month, and you can see there wasn't a big change from last week, down less than 1%. Back on market was down about 12%. So those new listings, again, that's like the new listings that are going to come back on after the first of the year, first of the month, I think. Had a few price decreases. They were down about 15% last week. Price increases were down about 20% last week. Under contract in the option period were also down, which we kind of expected.
And we do expect to see more of them move out of the option period, and so that's up 6% to 443. Pending is down 28, or up. It's 32.94 this week, and then sold is going to be 29.68.
And that's up about 5%, and we'll see that number go up quite a bit more. And then coming soons, of course, kind of go down a little bit toward the end of the month, and again, we'll see those kind of pop back up.
And I think one of the things that we'll want to see moving hopefully into next year is for those coming on the market to be greater than or at least equal to the ones that are actually leaving the market. So
Yeah.
we're still in a little deficit right now, aren't we?
Yeah, we really are. We definitely need to see more housing come on the market. There's a lot of there's a lot of multifamily that's coming on in the rental side of things, but we haven't seen that big increase in the single family side, on the rental side, or on the purchase side.
I felt like about 3 weeks ago, there was a really big increase in the number of smaller condos, and then also the really high-end condos, but everything in between does not seem to last very long.
No, that's very true. So let's jump into our homes today.
You bet.
The first one that we're going to look at is in Lakewood, and this is at 6556 Ellsworth Avenue. Really super great location. This is located in the heart of Lakewood, And super convenient to Mockingbird, super convenient to 75, super convenient to getting to the lake if that's what you want.
Absolutely. Commuting in and out is going to be extremely easy, whether north, south, using Abrams and Skillman, but also because Mockingbird is so close, getting over to 75 and then into downtown is a lot easier than you'd expect. In and around this area, one of the things that we love, we're seeing a lot more restaurants invest into this area of town. And so one of my favorites, and it initially was in Highland Park, was Hudson House. And today they have a Hudson House right there at Mockingbird and Abrams, which is blocks away from here. And it is an amazing restaurant. If you're looking for a place to go, they've got a really great assortment of Americana food. And a fun little fact is the wallpaper that they use in their bar is the same wallpaper that I used in the entry of my house that burned down.
Interesting.
Fun little side fact.
Interesting. I really like Hudson House. I've been there several times. What was the other one that you wanted to talk about over there?
It's White Rock Lake Ale House, and that's on the bottom portion of the lake. But what I really liked about this, so if you're into the really great beers, they have so many on tap, and the food was really good. But I like flights because I feel like it's a really great way to sample a big cross section. And they do a great set of flights, so much so that I was like, wow, that's almost like a beer in and of itself in each one of those flights. So it was really great, and it's worth a little trip, get you to another side of the lake, and it's a great place to spend some time in the Saturday afternoons watching the game.
It really is. So this home is one of a newer construction for the neighborhood, really has great curb appeal with the cinder block construction. It's another one of those that has a really good mixture of, I think, all the really, the hard elements with the cinder block, the steel, the beadboard undersiding, the steel roof, just really ties together well.
And I like the way that this house actually sits on the street. So it's higher than the street, and then it has that brick privacy wall in the front. So it really does create a wonderful way for you to have privacy, but still get natural light. And they've taken full advantage of that by using this entire wall of windows that is in the family room. And as you can see, it has a fireplace on either side. One is inside, one is outside. And as the outside one goes, it has that really wonderful wood deck and privacy to be able to use almost year round because of the cantilever.
And a really well-defined dining room on the other side of the double-sided fireplace. It's a large enough space you could get probably a 12-person table in there if you needed to, but you can see with this size table that is going to seat 4 or 6, it's still plenty of room.
And I love the fact that they have used as much glass as they possibly can to really just open this indoor-outdoor feel. And again, we see the cantilevering going around has the wood as well. And a really great kitchen. I like the way that it was set up. I feel like we had a really strong amount of countertop space. They've tucked the refrigerator around, as you see right there, just to kind of make it a little more sleek. And it just fits with the house with the vaulted ceilings and all the can lights, and again, all those great windows.
And as you step into the 2 ancillary bedrooms downstairs, these are on the back of the home. They share a Jack and Jill bath that is set up very, very nicely, granite countertops. I don't know if that's a yellow ash or a yellow
I don't know either.
pine. Great cabinetry, though. It looks like much of it was probably built on site.
And one of the great things about this home that we fell in love with was the fact that it had cement flooring. And cement flooring is really popular because it does really help score a home when you're looking for those energy value ratings.
And this is the media room, which has some really great acoustic qualities to it. So when you sit there to watch the movie, you can see the screen comes down in the back, which is going to help with light filtration into the screen. And then all of the acoustic tiles on the top were really a great add.
That was amazing. So then we get to run upstairs. Upstairs, we have this enormous bedroom. As you can see, that's a king-size bed, and you've got a lot of walkway in between you and that. And as you kind of round this open concept as it comes into the bathing area, you have, again, the same type of wood that's used in the cabinets as around the tub. And then we go into this really custom closet. As you can see here, there are 1,000 different configurations you can use to have this house perfect setup for you.
And this has a wonderful outdoor deck on the front of the house, which provides great privacy with that. That's probably a 3.5-foot high wall. And, sit out there and have coffee in the morning would be fantastic.
I thought I think the house has a lot of niches for everybody. And so it really kind of makes life super simple. And yet you can still have your own space and get around and enjoy it.
Outdoor space, you can't beat in this one. You've got hard surfaces coming out. You can see there's a fire pit that's built in. There's a kitchen onto the right side of that picture. And it looks like that it could accommodate outdoor grill, the big green egg if you wanted, really whatever you want to do back there. I think you've got space for.
And last but not least, it does have a metal roof. So this is 6556 Ellsworth Avenue, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage, built in '05. It's just under 3,300 square feet. It is priced at $1,249,000, and that comes in at $381 a foot. And we want to say thank you so much to Trina Rothwell for allowing us to feature your home. If this is a house that you'd like more information on, in the comments, you're going to be able to click on a link. It'll take you directly to this. 2 of the other pictures that we didn't use, look at it on the map. And if you want to see it, let us know and we'll make that happen.
Sure will.
Awesome.
So our next home today is in the Oak Lawn area, and this is a really, I think, probably one of the better parts of Oak Lawn, located at 4434 Holland Avenue. And Holland Avenue is, I say, one of the better parts of Oak Lawn because it's the section of Oak Lawn that is between Lemon Avenue and Highland Park. And so you've got some really good separation there with the neighborhood. Some neighborhoods that kind of mesh up against one another, sometimes the good and the bad overflows into each other. And this is really super well defined. The probably average sales price in this neighborhood, I'm guessing, has probably doubled in the last 10 years.
I would agree with that. And we actually just put one under contract over on Newton around the corner from there. Amazing area. It is really close to Highland Park. You don't really realize it. Easy to commute in and out of because of the connections of Wycliffe, both to 75 and to the toll road. And as far as it comes to like grocery stores and whatnot, I love the fact that Whole Foods is over here. So Whole Foods has really done a really great job of both home delivery, but also their prepared foods. Did you know that you can go and buy a piece of fish and have them cook it in their kitchen for you?
That's a great idea.
I love that because then you don't have to stink up your kitchen. Plus, they've got a really good salad bar and they've got some really good takeout breakfast tacos. So for me, this is a really strong 1-2 for me in that area.
The other thing that is super close, near and dear to my heart, is the Katy Trail. Now, Katy Trail is probably within a mile and a half, would be a great opening ride to get down to the trail, and then circling from one end to the one end all the way back, I believe is 14 miles, if I'm not mistaken. Great round trip ride. And, Katy Trail is one of those assets to the city that has really helped with property values up and down where that rail line used to be.
Amazingly. And they also have a really popular Katy Trail 5K, and I believe that is coming up at the end of the month. So if you go to their website, there'll be a link for it. Click on that. You can register, and it is a great time.
It really is.
You will meet a ton of people.
You will. And there is one of my favorite donut shops right down the street from this. I swear to you, it's where they have cronuts. If you have not tried cronuts, find a bakery that's got cronuts, and it'll change your life.
I want more information about that.
Okay.
So this is 4434 Holland Avenue, number D, and it is almost it is a standalone.
It is a standalone.
It's amazing.
It is on the back end of the lot. Many of these communities have 4 or 5 townhomes that are built onto a narrow lot going back, and this is on the very back, fully standalone, really a wonderful private, secure, and I'm comfortable saying that because as you see in those pictures, they have a roll down door at the front.
It is the epitome of lock and leave. There is no entrance. One of the great things that we liked about it too is there's a little parking spot just on the other side of the front door, so you almost get 3 parking spaces.
This is the downstairs bedroom that they use as a workout room, and it opens up to this green space on the side, which has artificial turf. It is just a fantastic place to take the pets.
It's perfect, and you have access from the garage, which is wonderful. And as you come upstairs to the second floor, you know that I'm always going to talk about light because I feel it's so important. They've done a great job of preserving privacy in a high-dense area by raising those windows up and letting all the natural light flood in. You get more light because you're an end unit as well.
That's true. And this floor is really cool because they've organized it a little differently than most of them. It's not the long drawn out type, but it gives you kind of a big square space that's got a really cool kitchen, the really cool living room, and then a great sized dining room.
And I loved the green door, and I couldn't wait to open the green door and find out what's inside. They've done a wonderful job of wallpapering it. They've also changed that front handle. It looks like something you would find in a Marvel comics. It was a really great door handle.
It really was. And the stone-covered fireplace, or I'm sorry, the tile-covered fireplace is a great addition, gives you a great focal point for a TV. You have plenty of room there for a bar, and just wonderful living.
And upstairs, there's this landing. There are floating stairs that are really great and kind of bring the light in. You're not going to see it, but there is also a skylight that really opens up and gives the light that area it's needed. And back to the wallpaper. Love the wallpaper. When I first saw it, I was like, how did she hang that many pictures? But it's wallpaper. Who knew? I had never seen that wallpaper.
And this is the bath that's off of that room. Really well set out. The vessel mounted sink, which is still really popular. And then as you go from that, you go into the office space. And this is that space that opens right up out onto the fourth floor the fourth floor deck.
And it's so important given what we've just been through with that pandemic. We need more space. So this is the master bedroom. Again, you're going to see really high ceilings. You're not going to feel like it's too low. It's just the right size. Great color balance in here as well. When you swing into the master bathroom, you're going to see vessel sinks, which are a really great job because they're not too strong in contrast of color. It kind of just sits with everything. It just makes for a really easy spa-like feel.
And as you step out onto the fourth floor deck, this is really, I'm sorry, third floor deck, excuse me, really a great outdoor space. You can tell they've got the big green egg. They've got some seating out here. That shrubbery you saw, there is a fence that really kind of blocks a lot of what is on lower levels around you. So you've got beautiful downtown skylight views, and it's perfect outdoor location.
Perfect whether you're having coffee or you're having your end of the day wine. This is a great place for you.
So 4434 Holland Avenue, Unit D, is a 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath, 2-car garage. It's built in 2004, a little over 3,200 square feet, and that is priced at $925, and that brings it in about $288 a square foot. And we'd like to say thank you to Lance Bland for letting us talk about his home today. If there's anything else that you'd like to know about this home, click on the links below. There's some pictures that we didn't get to use in the video today that you'd probably want to see. If you'd like to see this home, let us know and we'll be happy to make that happen. And with that, we'll be right back. There are lots of ways to keep up with us. Visit and like our Facebook page to watch us live and get updates about future show topics. Also, visit our Instagram account where you can see the latest homes we have for sale. You can also check out our website at updikepugh.com where you can create customized searches of active and sold homes that you may find of interest. If you'd like to know how much your home is worth, visit homeprice.fyi and you can get a price instantly. Just enter your address and a couple of other pieces of information and we will email you a price. If you are on the go and podcasts are better for you, our second segments are available on iTunes and Spotify. Last of all, you can reach out to us by phone or text at 214-377-2223. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the second segment, episode 147. I would like to introduce you to Mayur Chudasama. Mayur, welcome today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Mayur is the property manager for the Ebby Halliday Companies. You know, as you know, we are part of the Dave Perry Miller Company, which is part of the Ebby Halliday Companies. And Mayur joined our company, was it a year ago now?
2 years.
2 years ago now, and has really taken our property management department from here to here. So, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about you.
Yes, I've been licensed for 11 years, and the majority of that time is spent under leasing and property management and in that kind of that field of real estate. So I've worked with everything from small companies managing, just here locally to national companies managing tens of thousands of properties. And then personally, I'm married. I have two little ones, a 5-year-old son and a 3-year-old daughter, and they kind of occupy pretty much all my time outside of the office. Other than that, love staying active, doing everything fitness related, whether it's running, 10Ks. I've fallen in love with my Peloton now, which I'm super excited to have, and I can talk your ear off on that.
It's so funny because we've had so many conversations with people about Pelotons lately. I mean, and it's obviously an industry that's exploding, but tell us again what you were saying earlier about why you like it, because I thought that was really important.
Well, last year we decided to build out our home gym and stop going to the studios that we were enrolled in. And a big part of that was that we lost the sense of community. And Peloton kind of really brings that together while still working out at home. Man, I feel sound like a commercial for it, but I stand by it. You know, it gives you a really great workout. The trainers are all really awesome. It gives you motivation, inspiration, and a good sweat. I mean, it's a really great piece of equipment, but it's also the content and community that they provide that I love.
Does your wife ride as much as you do?
No.
Oh,
she works out as much as I do, but
Yeah.
she still goes to a studio.
Does she?
She likes the in-person community.
Well, you know, and that's, you know, Weston was telling you earlier, he really likes lifting a lot more than cardio. And so I can see how somebody that is really into that mode of fitness, that's really like a big draw to them. So
Yeah, of course. And I was mentioning that as I start to get older, I'm turning 40 this next month, and fitness is more about like injury prevention now. Like I just don't want to hurt my back when I'm picking up my son, rather than like looking good in a tank top, right? I've kind of shifted as I get closer to 40. So that's where I am now.
how many properties do you manage for us?
We manage just under 700 properties. And so I oversee a team of agents. There are 14 agents. They're working out of 10 different offices all over the Metroplex, and they just do leasing and property management.
Wow.
And so they have portfolios anywhere from 50 up to 150, depending on how long they've been doing it, what areas they cover. But we cover really the entire North Texas area.
Wow, that's great. And, you know, it seems like as more people have learned that real estate investing really is one of the ways to get that generational wealth to grow, it seems like more and more people are realizing that maybe I don't like being a property manager. You know, now I like the idea of owning investment property. I just don't really like the nuts and bolts of property management.
Yeah, and most of our owners are not like institutional investors that have 20, 30, 50, 100 properties, right? They own on average 1 to 2 properties, and they have full-time jobs, they have families, they have priorities, they want to travel, they don't want to be taking phone calls at 2 o'clock in the morning or when they're on vacation or on holidays. And so, you know, they don't have the time, and often they don't have the temperament for it. And so it's really important to have a professional property management company in place that can be the buffer in between you as the landlord and the tenant.
Property management is to me one of those fields that is really kind of it's very thankless in many times, because you don't get people that call you and say, hey, I'm going to pay my rent early this month. Hey, my dishwasher worked great last night.
You get called when there's a problem, and we have landlords that say, oh no, they're calling me, something's wrong. But we try to make it like what I call the triple win, right? It doesn't have to be that the landlord makes money and pays off their mortgage and the tenants lose, right? There's a situation where you can have where tenants are happy with the home that they're in, they're comfortable, the property's well maintained, they have good communication with the management company, and the landlord has an investment that's appreciating, paying off their expenses that they have, their carrying costs. And then as a management company, we win because we get to satisfy our client, who our responsibility is to, but also provide a good service for the tenant. So win is always our goal.
And to us, being with a company that provides that service is really a win for us too, because we work to make ourselves the one point of contact for everything real estate with our clients. And I feel like in many years ago, when we had people call us and we weren't comfortable referring them to our property management division at that moment, we were letting our client down. And so when Chris announced that you were joining us and we looked at your background, we thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be, it kind of fills in that cog that we didn't quite have. So it's important to us on the street as well.
Yeah, it's been really great. And, I mentioned my background in the different companies that I've worked for. And what's been really great about the Ebby Holiday family is you get the best of both worlds. You have this local company in Dave Perry Miller and Ebby Holiday. You have a local agent handling the property management. You always have their cell phone number, you know how to get a hold of them. But then you have this giant behind them, right? And Home Services of America, Berkshire Hathaway. So I always say we're small enough to know you, but large enough to serve you. Mm-hmm. So you really get the best of both worlds with the style and the systems that we have in place for property management.
That's great. What have you seen in rent rates?
They're through the roof. It's kind of a combination of a number of things, but we put out a quarterly report recently to kind of talk about what we're seeing. And what we have been seeing is that the rent rates are going up because the inventory is low, similar to the sales market. And the inventory is low because the tenants that are in properties are not comfortable moving, or they have uncertainty in their personal jobs. So they don't want to make a move or spend more in rent elsewhere. And so they're staying, they're signing renewals. So that's creating less of a turnover and properties that are available on the market. Then you have this influx of people from out of state, companies moving here, mainly from California and other areas. But those people are looking for renting before they buy in most situations. And then you have these people that have been involved with the storms earlier this year. We've had floods, and so you have a lot of insurance claims and short-term rental needs. And so that whole perfect storm has created a really high demand. And so rent rates are increasing because of the demand, and then the inventory is low because people aren't moving.
I pulled one of the pages from that report that you sent out that I thought the report itself was fantastic, so thank you. Do you want to talk about just some of the numbers on this and what y'all are seeing in trends?
Yeah, of course. So this is, kind of what I mentioned is that the available properties, the number of homes rented has decreased. So it went from last year in this quarter, 3,112 down to about 2,700. So fewer properties on the market. And at the same time, the rent rate has gone up from an average of 1986, just under 2,000, to all the way close to 2,300. So it's seen a huge jump in the pricing just over the course of 1 year, and a big decrease in the available properties in that time frame.
Wow. How do you see the ending of the eviction moratorium affecting your market, and do you see it affecting like the value of property either on a rental side or on a purchase side? Do you see any impact from that?
I don't know necessarily that there's an impact on the purchasing side. It definitely will have an impact on the available properties, because some of these tenants who have been unable to pay the rent and have been protected by the moratorium are now going to have to go through the eviction process. And so there will be, they've been calling like a tidal wave of evictions. Courts will be backed up for a number of months as they process through all the evictions. So there will be some of that. There's also a great deal of rental assistance. So I think the focus is shifting towards that in ways that we can provide rental assistance to the tenants to keep them in their properties, but also still make the landlords whole so that they can continue paying their mortgage and covering whatever expenses they have on the property. So I think that's where our focus is shifting to now. We've been lucky that we haven't had to do a lot of evictions. And in most cases, we've been able to negotiate like an early termination of the lease, a mutual move out. So that way there's no blemish on the tenant side, having an eviction judgment, and the landlord gets his property back to move on with whatever their plans are.
That it seems like this has gone on to the point where it really does need to end, in my opinion. I mean, I think it was there to help a lot of people that, we're in a bind.
Sure.
But I think it's time, because I think a lot of people feel that when you talk about landlords, you're talking about just this big entity out here. And like you said early on, it's just a bunch of, people that might own one or two investment properties.
Right. And most of them have mortgages that they have to continue paying.
Yeah.
And if there's no rent income coming in and you're paying out of pocket, it puts everybody in a bind. And so you have this kind of, you have these evictions that are on hold, and then you also have on the owner side, the landlord side, potential foreclosures that are on hold because they're in forbearance because they can't pay their mortgage. Tenants are in the moratorium, so they can't pay their rent because of job loss or whatever the situation is. So it's going to be kind of flowing through that process, and hopefully, this rental assistance, which is still available in pretty much every state, hopefully that will provide some additional relief for people.
Well, I think you're right. I think there is more of a focus on that, because I've seen a lot more of information about that come up in all my social media feeds, and it's probably because I've got real estate somewhere, written in my bio.
The algorithm is reading you.
Well, we really appreciate you coming in today. We tried to get you in before the pandemic started, and I think we were scheduled for it, and then everybody was like, nope, stay home. Right. And so I'm really glad appreciate you coming back in. So
yeah, it's been great.
If you have rental property that you need a property manager for, we're going to have Mayur's information up on the screen, and reach out to him. As you can tell, very personable guy. He would love to help you, and as he said, one of the 15 property managers that we have would be happy to take over your property and help you with it.
That was a great show, and it was a lot of good information. If you actually go to my Facebook page, I took some fun pictures from behind the scenes to kind of let you see what we see when we're not standing on this side of the camera.
We really do appreciate you joining us. We hope you'll enjoy us next week for Sold with Updike Pugh Wednesday at noon. Have a happy Labor Day.
And remember, we want to be realtors for life.